I didn't know that you had ordered one until Carrie had posted it over on Twitter, and he mentioned me, and he was, I think Bill got one too, and I was like, yep, I did. So we both bought one, and I'm curious what your reasoning is, because I know that I think my reasoning is probably going to be different than you. So why did you buy the PlayStation Portal?
So before I started Retro Game Core, I would have definitely called myself like a casual gamer. At that point in my life, I had a PS4, I had an Xbox One, and I would just buy like the exclusives, the AAA titles, things like that. And I always look out for sales. And one of the games I bought on sale was Detroit Become Human on the PS4. And that's a game that I played 100% remotely because the PS4 was in my kid's room. And anytime I wanted to play, they were asleep. And so I never got to actually use it on the TV. And so I ended up playing the entire game on an iPad with my PS4 controller connected to that. And so I played the whole game remotely. And I bought the PlayStation Portal because I feel like there are a lot of other people that are in that same situation as I was, in that like kind of casual gamer space where they're not looking to get a whole new device and like learn all that other kind of crap. They just need something to be able to play more conveniently with this very simple setup they already have. And so that's the audience, I think, for this, is that it's an accessory, it's not a device. And for that reason, I thought, $200 is about that right price point. I would have paid for that back in the day when I was using my iPad because it wasn't that great of an experience. And so if I was going to pay for that back then I think that somebody today would pay for that too.
And you know what? I was wrong. It's the absolutely the same reason. I think it's a compelling device, in spite of the fact that it doesn't have Bluetooth. I find it to be a pretty compelling argument for $200. Now, I wouldn't have even thought about it. Like, I wouldn't have had to think about it if it had Bluetooth. But because it didn't have Bluetooth, I hesitated. I had to think about, do I really want to use this thing? And honestly, most of the time when I play games, I don't have headphones on. And I think it's fine. Am I interested in getting Sony's headsets? No, not even a little. I have a very nice, very expensive pair of headphones that is hooked up to my Xbox, my PC, my Switch, and my PlayStation already. It's already hooked up to all four of those things at the same time, and they're wireless. They're super comfortable. I'm not interested in spending $200 on the little earbuds from Sony. If I'm going to use little earbuds, I'll just use my Apple ones. But I still think that this device is interesting, and it does have corded headphones. But everybody, I think a lot of people look at this and they're like, it only has streaming. I don't understand that. It's only $200. I don't understand why that's a deal breaker for something like this, because streaming means that the battery is going to last a really long time. At least I would think so. I know Sony's batteries are kind of terrible, but I do think that when you are streaming on a device it's an 8-inch screen, 1080p. That's a very easy stream to send. And it's a very easy stream to decode. So I think that the battery life on this is going to be pretty good. And I watched, I can't remember who it was, but I watched a video of somebody who actually got hands-on with it, and they were like, it's awesome. I love it. If I don't get one sent to me from Sony, I'm going to buy one, they said. And they were very, very excited about it. And that's just very compelling to me. Do you think that people are going to change their minds about this thing over time, or do you think people are locked in already because they were looking for a reason to hate it, and then the Bluetooth thing came out and they said, yeah, I'm done?
Right. Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And then it's this idea where they just needed to have a crack in the seam to be able to be like, look, this is why it sucks. I think it fits for the use case. The 8-hour battery life, I'm guessing it's going to be about 8 hours, because that's what the controller battery lasts, and that's what they're targeting. Even if it's 6, it's fine. Yeah. Because you got to think about the fit of what you're going to be using it for. This is not a marathon, all day gaming device. This is something that you're going to play when you can't play play on your television, right? Or it's just not a good opportunity. The way I see it is I would grab this, play it in the evening or whatever, and then I'm going to plug it in when I go to bed at night. And then the next day it'll be fully charged and I can do it all over again. And that's exactly like the way I would use it, you know? And so in that sense, it completely fits with that use case. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. And it's an accessory. Like, that's the thing. It's not a device, it's an accessory. And I bought the Xbox Elite controller, the very first one, which I think was $200. I can't remember how much it was, but it was because I was playing with my buddies. We were playing Destiny on the Xbox all the time, like almost every night. And I just wanted to have like the coolest, nicest experience with it. And it was worth it for $200. Like, that's a lot of money. It was like my Christmas present that year, but I was so happy with it. I'm still happy with that. It's still like one of my primary controllers when I'm playing on the Xbox. And I got $200 worth of value out of that. And I think that people will still get the same thing out of the PlayStation Portal. Yes, there are other devices you can get for $100 or less. You can do it on your phone. But this isn't that same experience. And so I'm really looking forward to it. And when I get mine, I'm going to do a full like comparison against all the other ways that you can stream PlayStation and whether or not that's worth that price point. And we'll see.
Yeah, I will say, like, one of the things that I was going to bring up is all these other ways that you can do it, but none of those things, this has one thing that none of those other things do. It has the controllers that feel like Sony's controllers. Like, even if you get, what's it called? The Backbone? Is it the Backbone?
Backbone.
Yeah. Even if you get the Backbone, that thing, it doesn't feel like, I haven't used it, but it doesn't feel like Sony's controllers. It feels like a thing clipped on the side of your phone. It's thin. It's closer in comparison to Switch controllers, you know?
Right.
And like, I have an iPad and I have an extra PlayStation controller, and I've done the thing where you stream it to your iPad, and I don't like the thing where you've got the controller and the device separated from each other. Well, I'll say accessory, where they're separated from each other. I prefer them to be together, and I really like this. And it's the kind of thing, like, you're 100% right. You just charge it when you go to sleep at night, and when you wake up the next day, it's fine. It's going to last you through whatever. And the way I see me using this device is if I'm watching something with my wife and I want to play a game that doesn't require any kind of like whatever part of your brain needs for paying attention, like, that's going to be the way that I'm doing it on my PlayStation. And I mean, I have all three consoles, and I've got a computer, and I've got a Steam Deck, and I've got an ROG Ally, and the place that I play most of my games is on the PlayStation. I don't, probably just because I have the most storage on that, because I got a big third party SSD that I put in there. So I'm sold on this thing, and I picked it up, and I had said before, I'm only getting it so I can make a video about it, but that's not true, because it's actually part of my use case. Hey everybody, if you enjoyed this clip of the Nerd Nest podcast, then there is a link down below that'll take you to the full episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.